doing art is all fun, and when it comes to you, it's all fun, but then you got to do the work too. There's so many things around art nowadays to be successful, if you may, and you just stay consistent and disciplined.
Hi, Osa.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am good.
I appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Are you in LA?
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, really? We moved
Yeah.
from there. We're still pretty present in Nashville, though.
Oh, yeah. I know your husband has definitely roots here in
Yes.
Nashville.
Yes.
Are you guys in? You're in LA now?
Yeah, we're in Malibu right now. It's
There.
beautiful, sunny. I'm sure it's humid and hot in Nashville.
It is. And let me see. Yeah, it's 86. Yesterday we kind of cooled off, so I was like, oh, maybe we're ending this, but
No.
no, it's back. It was
Yeah.
just one day, so
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. Well, thank you again so much for doing this. This is about you, your journey in music, and we'll talk about everything you have coming out. I know you just released the cover of Love is Strange with your husband, which is awesome. So I want to hear all about what you have going on.
Great.
Awesome. So, first off, I always start with kind of your origin story. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Sweden in a little town outside Stockholm, raised by two parents at home, and my I have an older sister, 4 years older, and I moved to America when I met my husband, Roy Orbison Jr.
Yes.
And I met him, I think, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and yeah, moved here. We've got 4 kids, and we're just now getting into music again.
That's exciting. Did you grow up around music? Like, or did you come from a creative house a
Not
little?
really, no, I wouldn't say so. No, I didn't, but I was drawn to music. I went to music school, and then I got into marketing, and I was pretty successful there, so I started working a lot, and then I met Roy, and it wasn't until I moved here that obviously music got back into my life, and we started playing together.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then we had kids, and I started playing guitar again for them, really. And yeah, and then all of a sudden we have an album out.
Wow. Well, I mean, you went to music school though. So you obviously
Yeah.
had training from a young age. It sounds like.
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
just kind of took a reroute,
For
life happens, and you
sure. Yeah. Of
yeah,
course. So
yeah.
where did you start? Were you in piano lessons and like what did you attend music
Piano
school for?
lessons.
Vocals.
Yeah, I took piano lessons when I was little, and then I went to this music school where we had one hour of music every day.
Wow.
And that adds up, and that was for 3 years, and we all learned guitar. So
Mm.
guitar was like the basic one. Everybody learned guitar. Sorry about that. And I took piano and guitar, and then sang in the choir.
Wow. Okay. Piano,
Yeah,
guitar, and singing in the choir. Did you write your own songs or were you doing any
a little bit.
performing?
We
Okay.
did. We did. Yeah.
So did you
I
had like
right.
a solo thing going on? Like, would you do open mic nights or little coffee shops
No,
or
I didn't go that far. No, I did.
okay.
I just did that, and then kind of went into marketing pretty quickly. And then when I met Roy, I I think, we live around music is everywhere in our household, and obviously
Sure.
the whole legacy of Roy Orbison. But Roy hadn't played guitar for about at least like 15 years, I would say, when I met him. He was more
Really?
managing the legacy. Yeah. So when we met, he was stuck in my apartment in Stockholm. I didn't have a TV. I don't watch TV that much. And he was stuck in my apartment, and he found this guitar. So he started playing again. And I got home from work. And so we started playing together. And yeah, that's kind of how this whole thing started.
Interesting. So you guys you were on a television show as well, right? With Below
Yes.
Deck.
Yes.
Were you I saw the show. I don't think I saw your season or your and I think it was a spin-off of some other I think isn't there multiple versions of Below Deck? Like there's Below or is there
Yes.
only
There's
the one?
Mediterranean. We're on the
The
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean one, right?
Yeah.
But there's other ones. So were you like working on the ship? Like tell me kind of how and is
No,
that where you met your husband?
no, we just met random in the park in Stockholm. He loves Sweden, and he's gone to Sweden throughout his life every summer. Sweden is
Wow.
Summer is like paradise, because we're so used to the darkness all winter. So when
Hmm.
summer comes, everyone is just like opening up, like, "Wow, I'm alive! Everything's great." So, so if you come to Sweden in the summer, you'll get like, it's amazing. And
Okay.
he comes every summer. I was just happened to go out after work with a colleague to have a couple of drinks, and he just sat down next to me. So that's how
Wow.
yeah, and Below Deck happened way later. They contacted us and said, "Do you want to go on this boat?" And we hadn't watched the show either, and to be honest, even all the way up till we got on the boat, we were like, "Is this real?" But it was real. It was real,
Right,
and
right.
it's a lot of fun to us. It's like a family vacation. The whole show is about people working on a super yacht.
Right, right, right. So
Yeah.
were you working on the super yacht or were you
Oh, we were the guests.
okay.
Yes.
So you
So
had a
it's
bit more fun than
yeah,
doing
it's
the
not
work.
really about us, but you got to be a little careful because if
Right.
you're sending too much food back, they'll film you a certain way. So yeah, no, to us it's vacation, and it's super fun for us to see kind of the kids grow up in the show because
Uh-huh.
we've been on 3 times.
Wow. Okay.
First time we had 2 kids. Second time we had 2 kids also. Third time we had 3 kids. Now we have 4. We haven't gone back yet, but we'll see.
Wow, okay, that's awesome. See, I wasn't sure if you were a part of like the crew because I remember that being a big, like, kind of the storyline focuses around the people who are actually working on the boat, but they obviously intermingle with the people that are there.
Yeah,
That
that's what it's about. And but then they've been kind enough to invite us back. So we're kind of a big small part of the whole show.
yeah, right. I was gonna say you guys are pretty consistent piece to that part
Yes.
of the below deck.
It's great. We love Captain Sandy. She's awesome. And yeah, we love the whole show and people on it.
That's awesome. So you guys, that was totally different than anything. It was just you just got reached out to. Okay, let's do this. You had already met your husband. You were already married.
Oh
You had
yeah.
kids at that point. I mean, so
Yeah.
this is way down the line in your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you first met Roy, though, you probably obviously knew who his dad was once you got to talking to him and
Yeah,
everything.
but I
Or
didn't. It's so
oh,
weird. No, I didn't. We talked about Roy Orbison, and I did the name maybe rang a bell somewhere. Is that how you say? Yeah, I knew the name, but then when we looked up all the songs, I realized I know
oh,
songs.
sure,
So it was more like that.
okay.
Yeah.
So when he started playing, like when he found this guitar at your apartment, was what before you guys were married and everything? He would just
Yes.
come into
Just after
okay.
we had kind of a long distance relationship for about a year, I think, before I moved over. Uh,
Okay.
so he started playing, and we played all the time together as soon as we could. And then in 2019, we worked on an album for his dad called Unchained Melodies. It was
Uh-huh.
together with London Philharmonic Orchestra,
Yes.
Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And I was singing background vocals on that one, and Roy was playing guitar. So one of the songs on that album was Blue Bayou, and Roy was really into jazz. So he started to like kind of rearrange the songs, play around with chords.
Mhm.
And then I sang a couple of different notes on the on the song, and it turned into something different that we liked. And being in Nashville, you have all these all legends,
Oh, everywhere, right? I
yeah, they're
mean,
all over, and Roy knows
it's
all of them.
crazy.
So he was like, "Okay, I want a harmonica on it." He was like, "Oh, I'll phone up Charlie McCoy," and he
That's
played on
so
the original Blue Bayou.
yeah, that's so wild.
Yes,
I
it's
mean, just to be
great.
able to do that, right?
Yes,
He
yes,
grew up around that life and
yes,
everything, so it's for him, it's these people that he's probably known his entire life, right? And
yes.
then
They're our
I'll just call him up. Yeah, he's probably the best harmonica player in the
in the
world, but I'll just
yeah,
give him a ring and see if he wants to do
yes,
this.
yes. And then we did have a saxophone player, and he's like Jim Horn. Jim Horn, he played on like "Got My Mind Set on You," George Harrison, and Tina Turner's "River Deep Mountain High," Frank Sinatra. Like, yeah, unbelievable. So only on Blue Bayou, we have all these people that come together from different generations, and you know, it just tied into something really amazing. So we have a harmonica and saxophone solo together. Have you heard the song Blue Bayou?
Yes, yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
which you wouldn't think of a harmonica and a saxophone together, but Roy came
You
up
made
with
it
that.
work.
Yeah, and it works. I didn't think it would
Yeah.
work. It really does.
So that was done for your album though, because you were working on something
Oh,
for
exactly. Yeah, so
his
that
dad,
he did
and then
that.
so you were just what you said singing backups, and he was putting this project together. And then
Yes.
at what point are you all like, let's, or were you always kind of just jamming together? And then when
Oh,
did
I
it make
would say we're
sense
almost
to?
everything happened really organically with this album, I'd say.
Okay.
And I think that's how good things happen usually.
Hmm.
It
Sure.
it our whole life has been like that with the kids too, it just kind of happened. And we uh I think things needs to happen that way. I think if you
Hmm.
force things, you can sense it. And yeah, so we obviously we had to book a studio and all of that stuff, and that was a step. But all the rest kind of just fell into place in this case.
Okay. And how did you all go about? Obviously, Blue Bayou was something that you wanted to do because that was a part of that original project, right?
Yes. And
Um,
we've got Unchained Melody, which is also on this album,
mhm.
was also Roy Orbison sang that song, and it was our wedding song. So that one was kind
Oh,
of awesome
wow.
too.
Yeah.
And then you've got a couple of Swedish songs, which it's uh, more jazzy.
Mhm.
There's this Swedish woman called Monica Zetterlund who she's not alive anymore, but she used to sing with Bill Evans and all these old jazz guys. She put Swedish lyrics on jazz classics, and I was
Oh,
listening
wow.
a lot to that. And Roy was surprised because he would be playing these jazz classics, and I knew some Swedish random lyrics he'd never heard on them. So we put those on the album, and we have one more song coming out called "Baby I'm Yours."
Mhm.
It'll be out in a few weeks, and then the whole album is kind of done. But I looked at the numbers today, and we're almost at 1 million streams before the album is even out.
Yeah, that's incredible. I was just looking on
Yeah.
your Spotify. I mean, you have a lot, yeah, a lot of streams, and the album isn't even out yet.
No, I know. Yeah.
Um, with the song choices, like, was that difficult to do to kind of pick through and decide what you guys wanted to put on the album?
No, no, it wasn't that hard. Roy, I could pick I love to sing everything, but
Yeah.
Roy's really good at pinpointing, and he had this vision for the album, what order they come in, and you know, even the way they sound after each other and everything. He's got a good vision of all of that. Satin Doll is on there, which is a jazz classic. We have a girl called Grace Kelly. She plays saxophone on it, and she plays with the Too Many Sues. They were like on tour with Beyonce. She's amazing. She's here in LA.
Wow.
So we tried to do some collabs on it, and yeah, it's going great. It's fun.
Yeah, you have Wayne Moss on there as well, right? On
Yes,
Strange
he's on
Love
Love is Strange.
or
Love
Love
is,
is Strange. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
He came up with the riff for Jolene.
That's so crazy. I didn't know that. I was researching and I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
second. He's the guy that
Oh,
wrote
and it's
Jolene.
all over this album are these
Yeah.
people. I'm like, how did I end up here? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's real fun. And he's so awesome. He lives in Nashville, and he has this studio called the Cinderella Studio,
Mhm.
and Cinderella Sound, I think is right.
Cinderella Sound. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen photos of it.
yeah.
I don't.
That's his actual home studio, and I think it's one of the oldest studios in Nashville.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. I didn't
And
realize that.
so
Yeah, that was
so
his home
so
studio.
the songs that were recorded there were recorded, I'm not very technical engineer and stuff, but on old tapes.
Oh, you
So
recorded to tape. It wasn't
yeah,
like you did. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
We then ran it through Pro Tools, but they're recorded on old tapes, and I think that what makes it sound so good.
Yeah, I know 100% because that's a not only the sound is awesome and with that vintage kind of
Yeah.
feel to it, but I mean, it could get expensive when you're recording tape. People don't realize that, back,
Oh, yeah.
now it's just
Yeah.
like, delete. And before
Yeah,
now you have
no.
this tape that you're like,
Yes.
well, got to get another one.
Well,
Got to get
when you
another
work with
tape.
someone like Wayne, you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about that because he'll do it in one take.
Right, right. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
it's such a
I know.
different it's such a
Yes,
different thing nowadays when you go to
absolutely.
recording.
But the whole vibe in that studio is amazing. If you look at my album cover, which also is like, uh, it looks like it's from another time. That is from the studio. We took that.
Oh, where you're sitting on the piano bench, I think? Or
Um, I'm sitting on a bench. Yeah,
you're sitting on a bench, but there's like a guitar next to you kind of on
yeah.
the side and the picture
Yes,
behind
that's
you?
right.
Okay.
That's from the studio. So there's like fabrics on the walls. It's super cool.
Wow. How many studios did you guys use there, or did you do it mainly in Nashville?
We did it there, and then in the Cowboy Arms recording in Spa, Jack Clement's studio.
Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, and Emily Orbison is Roy Orbison's granddaughter. So my what is it? My niece, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, your niece.
Wesley's daughter. Wesley is Roy Orbison's oldest son, and her husband was mixing it there.
Wow.
Some vocals there. So yeah, all over the album is family and friends. I got Anna Christina Cash, Johnny Cash's daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
She was my first friend when I moved to America.
Really?
Yeah, because the Orbisons and the Cashes goes way back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
So they both lived out in Hendersonville, and but what's funny is that when my mother-in-law Barbara moved from Germany to Nashville, her first friend was June Cotter Cash.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I moved, a lot of years later, and my first friend was Anna Christina Cash because Roy Jr., my husband, and John Cotter is great friends. Obviously, they grew up together. So she's
Yeah.
singing background vocals on I think at least 2 songs, and then we also did recorded a little bit up in our studio, Pretty Woman studio.
Wow. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, do you know Ira Dean?
I don't.
Oh, he's friends with that. He's a country guy from Nashville, but he's friends with a lot of the like the Cash. Like that was his
Oh
first
yeah,
friend that kind of like landed him in. So I wasn't know if you guys had intertwined
I
in the same
don't think
circle.
I'm bad with names.
Okay. That's all good. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you're around so many people that are so good at it's not like, oh yeah, I met this one guy and he's a really talented musician. It's like your whole
well,
life
I'm
is
gonna
really
play
talented
fine
musician.
too.
Yeah.
One night I was talking to Cheryl Crow for a whole night, and
Oh
I
my
come
gosh.
home, and I didn't know it was her. I was just having a great time. And Roy was like, "Yeah, you really got along with Cheryl." I was like, "Who?"
Like Cheryl Crow. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah,
That's so
really?
crazy.
Yeah, but it's kind of good because I don't get starstruck. I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Did you have any like I mean, not being starstruck, but I mean, did you have nerves going into studios like at that level with these people that you kind of maybe knew at that point, like, oh wow, this person did the riff to Jolene, or this person did that. Were you worried or nervous or getting your head at all when it came to like the vocals?
Yes and no. I think the first song you're always a little bit scratchy. You want to warm up and make sure you do all that. I was not really that intimidated by it. I was
Hmm.
very honored that they wanted to be on this project, but they're also just people, and
Hmm.
they love to play. I love to sing and play music, and we do it together. We'll see what happens with it. Um, I would say after having kids, nothing scares me anymore.
That's a great point. I have kids as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 or 2, 3?
2.
Oh, yeah.
One's 16 and the other is 8, so pretty
Yeah.
big gap, but, yeah, I can see what you mean, though, when it comes to that. You're like, "Well, I might have to take care of a life." You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, yes, yeah,
Nothing is
yeah,
as scary as
yeah,
that.
and then I've also realized, yeah, like, if you decide to do it, like, do you wanna sit there and feel bad about it or just do it, you know?
Uh-huh.
There's no point into that kinda stuff. So I try to really push away my nerves, and I've gotten good at it since I had kids, because it simply just doesn't matter.
Right. Are you all gonna be playing these songs out? I know I've seen some footage of you online and stuff with your husband playing, some of the songs, but
Yeah,
is that you gonna do a
yeah.
tour or
Yes, we're gonna do on tour. Our dream is to schedule actually to like pack up all the kids and go to do like a tour in France next summer or something.
Oh, wow. Why
The
France?
vineyards, and I don't know. We just have this idea like France. Yeah, let's go there and play, you know? But
Okay.
we'll definitely try to do LA because we live here and it's convenient, you know?
Sure.
We will go to Nashville probably in November. We're going to record some new stuff. So I'll try to book a few gigs while we're there.
Oh, I'm gonna keep my eye out for that. I
Yes,
want to
I'll
come
let
see
you
you
know.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Very, very cool. And have you played in Sweden? Have you played in your hometown?
you're not. I have not.
Ooh,
No,
that'll be
yeah.
exciting, right?
Yes, that would be fun.
That is so awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank you.
I have one more question for you, Osa. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Consistency, I guess, because there will be times doing art is all fun, and when it comes to you, it's all fun, but then you got to do the work too. There's so many things around it, around art nowadays to be successful, if you may, and you just stay consistent and disciplined. With me, with 4 kids, like there's no way for me to sit around and do things all day. So I really have to be very uh, careful with my time. And so I sit down every day with baby naps. I sit down and I do the work. And then when I know that I'll have more time, I can be creative. But right now we're in the middle of summer break and they're home. And so when the babies nap, I do the other work all around it. And then when the kids start school again, I'll be more creative. But young aspiring artists maybe don't have kids. So I would say just stick to it. Just keep going. Keep going.
Bringing it backward.